A man was shocked to discover his wife, who had died yesterday, appearing in their home. She doesn't speak and can't be touched, just silently doing housework, and only her husband can see her. At first, the man was terrified. He knew he'd neglected his wife for years because of work. Now her soul refused to leave. She must hate him completely. Frightened, he consulted a priest, but the priest said she wasn't a ghost. She was a memory from 3 years ago. The next day, curious, the man followed his wife outside to see what she'd done 3 years earlier. He watched her walk dejectedly from the hospital. It was the day she'd been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and he'd missed her calls because of work. Seeing this filled him with regret and guilt. The next day, he quit his job without hesitation, determined to cherish their remaining time together. But a friend warned him he'd experience the pain of loss again in 3 years. Still, the man insisted on living alongside his wife's memories. When he followed her to the park, an old man happened to pass by. He mentioned a woman who used to come here often, waving at the distant train. At first he'd been puzzled, until she explained her husband would wave back from the train on his way home. The man's heart broke. This was a promise they'd made when they married, something he'd long forgotten. But his wife had kept doing it all along. Later, her condition worsened, but one day, she actually laughed, watching news about a baby gorilla being born. The man then remembered their beautiful past. Decades ago, he'd proposed to her, in front of a pair of gorillas at the zoo. No diamond ring, no romantic ceremony, just their pure love for each other. He was stunned. His wife, who'd forgotten even her own name, still remembered their engagement day. But the day of parting finally arrived. That day, she forgot to unplug the iron. The man realized with horror this was the day she died in the fire. He desperately called out to her, but she couldn't hear him. Only when smoke began spreading did she prepare to escape. But just as she reached the door, she turned back, pulling out a money box and frantically searching through it. The man broke down, telling her to forget the money, but the next second he froze. She was looking for their engagement photo. Even though she'd forgotten the whole world, she still remembered their love. The man watched helplessly as his beloved died before his eyes, his heart filled with despair. But then a miracle happened. In her final moments, his wife actually saw him. She smiled and reached out her hand. The instant their fingertips touched became their final goodbye. Now the man comes to the park every day, sitting where his wife once sat, keeping the promise they'd made to spend more time with the one you love. Don't wait until they're gone to understand what you've lost.